Welcome to Hospitality Property School. You are listening to Hospitality Property School with your host, Jerry McPherson. Welcome to another edition of Hospitality Property School. I am your instructor, Jerry McPherson, and today I'm going to talk about more ways to make your hospitality property memorable. In our last podcast, I talked about 25 ways to make your hospitality property memorable. I shared ideas about how your property looks, how to get guests involved, how to stay in touch, and promotions, just to name a few. Now, if you've not heard it, you can find that post at keystonehospitalitydevelopment.com/KHDC046. Today, I would like to give you 15 more ways to make your hospitality property memorable. Call your guests before check-in. It's 6 p.m. You still have a number of arrivals to come in. Why not spend a few minutes and call them and let them know you are expecting them? This can be a reassurance to both you and your guests. Welcome local artists to display their works in your lobby. People are naturally charmed to pleasing things. That is why art is a good way of making your property more memorable among travelers, especially if it's interesting, inviting, and creates a visually stimulating experience for your guests. You can encourage them to take pictures to social media. Welcoming returning guests back. Everybody likes to feel special. So when you have returning guests, use their name. You want them to recognize that they're returning, so give them what they want. Novelty offerings. Not everything in life should have a logical explanation behind it. Creating a few novelty items for your guests is a great way to redefine the experience that they get staying at your property. It doesn't have to be extravagant. As long as it's something out of the ordinary and creates a spectacle, you're good to go. For example, a drink in affordable glass containers or flower vases, and serve your own version of an enormous drink. A simple spectacle that days after the travelers have left your property will still be talking about and will want to share with their friends. Arranging dinner plans. Everybody has to eat. Asking a guest, do you have dinner plans, is an easy topic of conversation. Offering a recommendation will be much appreciated to a guest that has not had time to even think about it. You should ask them, what are you in the mood for? If you have a restaurant on site, you can recommend a menu option that fits their mood. If the request is not available on your menu, identify a local landmark. Upgrading. If you're sitting around a 50% occupancy for the night, does it really cost you much more to give an upgrade? Can you remember the last time you received an upgrade? I bet you do. Full towels in the shape of animals. Yes, I know, cruise lines do this, but it rarely fails to get at least a smile. It is still a welcome surprise when you walk into a room with something that shows a little extra care and attention. Call your guest after a problem. A guest calls the front desk with a problem, send someone over to fix the problem. When the job is finished, call the guest right back and ask if everything was fixed to their satisfaction. Weather forecast during a wake-up call. Don't just call and say, "Hi, this is your wake-up call." By making the first conversation with your guest, that day might be better than expected. Make suggestions such as bundle up because it's cold outside, or ask if they'll need an umbrella because it should be raining all day. A "Yes, I cleaned here" sign. How clean is my room? It may look clean just like any other room, but what about the things you don't see? Hide a note underneath the bed stating the housekeeper's name and today's date. You could also offer a free beverage if your guest brings the sign or note to the desk or restaurant. Provide bikes to borrow. It's beneficial. Implement a bike lending program. This is extremely effective, especially if your hotel's location is near points of interest and scenic tour spots. Make sure, however, you are prepared with all the necessary documents and agreements before starting this project. Brand your shampoos, soaps, and lotions. It may cost you a little more per room to have a brand name on your shampoos, soaps, and lotions. but they do induce a positive response from your guests. Now, everyone knows that small items like this will be taken as little souvenirs, but consider the extra cost for the upgrade of bath products as an investment in your marketing and happiness. Don't let them go hungry. People often associate eating with happiness. You can also trigger those emotions by offering free cookies or snacks at the front desk, having an informal wine and cheese party, or serving hot cocoa during the winter months. Families like to travel. So when families travel with young children, they always appreciate it when you go above and beyond what they expect, especially if you make it a priority to focus on the young ones. Having baby cribs, games, coloring books, and maybe even handing out little stuffed animals to small children when the family arrives makes it obvious that your property is a good place for families to stay. Take a creative approach to room service. If you do not have an on-site restaurant or kitchen that can prepare meals, you can still offer the convenience of room service by thinking a little creatively. Forge a relationship with several local restaurants that offer delivery service. They can prepare the meals off-site and deliver them to your hungry guests who do not feel like going out for dinner. The restaurants will love getting the additional business, and you will take another step toward making your guests happier. Now, I'd like to leave you with this thought from Henry Ford. The man who will use his skill and constructive imagination to see how much he can give for $1 instead of how little he can give for $1 is bound to succeed. So in conclusion, in the evening, call your guests before check-in. Welcome local artists to display their work in your lobby. Use your guest's name. Have novelty offerings. Influence dinner plans. Upgrade. Fold towels in the shape of animals. Call after a problem. Give weather forecasts during wake-up. Yes, I cleaned here signs. Provide bikes to borrow. Brand your shampoos, soaps, and lotions. Don't let your guests go hungry. Go a little above and beyond for families. And take a creative approach to room service. If you visit our show notes, I have included a downloadable property inspection form that you can use or customize. Now, if you have any interesting stories about making your property memorable, I would really like to hear them. And you can do that by leaving your stories or comments in the show notes at keystonehospitalitydevelopment.com/KHDC047. That is it for today's session of Hospitality Property School. As always, we really do appreciate your comments. So if you have any topic ideas, please reach out to us on Facebook at facebook.com/KeystoneHDC, on Twitter at twitter.com/KeystoneHDC, or by email at info@keystonehospitalitydevelopment.com. As always, let's continue to work together to put heads in your beds. Until next time, have a fun day. This session of Hospitality Property School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe so as not to miss any hospitality property tactics and strategies that will help you find the success you have always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content possible. We will see you next time, right here in Hospitality Property School.